Okay, again, we're still on problem number 4. And what we did, we used Newton's method, and with that initial guess, and we finally found that it settled in on this number over here. Then I'm wanting to say to find the exact solution, and this is where a lot of people find it very difficult to figure out what the exact number is there. So what I did over here, and I'll go through it with you, I used a graphing calculator. What I mean by that, grapher. And what I'm going to do is, I'm actually graphing this out over here. Now, before we go on with that, I want to point out the x is really going to be what's known as the ordinate in the problem. So this is the ordinate over here. That's the ordinate, all right? And then the n is the abscissa in the problem. That's this line over here. Now, granted, I do have x and y's down here, so I had to type that in, by the way. So really, what am I typing in? Well, looking over here, I'd be typing in y equals, and then where I see an n, I put an x. Right? I hope that doesn't confuse you. But there's two branches of it, all right? So it's going to be, pi 1 plus 2n. But again, it's x, plus or minus. I got to do one at a time. I do plus first. I'm just typing this in over here. And then I type the other one in. And that's two curves right there. If you saw that, there's actually two branches. Let me just turn them off and on for you. You're seeing two branches, all right? So it's a solid curve now, so I'll connect it. Now remember I said you had to exclude certain numbers from the set, and the reason for that is that they're really not here in the real number system. For example, if n is 0, you have no red curve there, and if n was minus 1, you'd have no red curve there either. What do you do now? And this is where I actually found it, a little bit of a challenge. And what I did was I said, oh, gee, and sometimes you get confused with the letters over here. Let me just remind you, this is actually the ordinate, all right? So what I want to do, I want to type that number in. Let me go back to the graph. So it's going to be y equals that number. And all I did was a copy paste. And that's the number over here. I just copied it in. And then I looked at it, and I said, oh, it intersects it here. But it only intersects in one branch of the curve, by the way. Which branch? Let me just turn this one off. And it's only on this branch of the curve, right? Only on this branch over here. Right? What branch is that? It's that minus the square root branch. Now I'm looking at this picture over here, and I have a gut feeling that it has to occur at an integer, by the way. And my gut feeling is it looks like it's occurring at minus 2. So then I put in x equals minus 2 over here. So let me repeat this over here. I found the n. The n is minus 2. But only on one branch of the curve, this branch over here. So what I did, I went back. I took this thing over here. I took the negative here. That's the negative branch, by the way. I plugged in minus 2. What would you get? 1 plus minus 4, which is minus 3. Over here you get 9, because minus 3 squared is 9. Let's go back over that. I typed that in, and then I just cleaned it up a little tiny bit, by the way. All right, that's all I did. And then I checked it. I made sure that what this number was this over here. Did it take me time and effort to do that? It does. I had to think about it, right? What's often confusing to people? The choice of letters, all right? Remember, in the original thing I had over here, x was equal to a function of n, but then I wrote it as y as a function of x. That often gets confusing, by the way. Hopefully not too confusing. Hopefully you're looking at a picture that illuminates what it is. The other option you have is to take numbers and start plugging them in. To me, it seems bizarre and too much work, but you could do it on a graphic calculator, by the way. And again, the number was small. It turned out to be minus 2. But let's say it was a really a big number, minus 1,000 for that to occur. I would certainly like to see a graphical picture of it to get that number. Thank you.